For Virgin Hotels, its background originally was music. The sixth in America, and we were the first Virgin Hotel in Europe. They all have a music bias, and they all try to take the culture of the music roundabouts. The entertainment director was super keen to ensure that it was high quality brands, so we contacted Adlib. It got developed and it moulded and evolved through the whole complete design. We've got two bars. We've got the Commons Club, which is a cocktail bar and has to be of a quality you could have live music in there, and then we've got Eve, which is a bit more edgy.
We've put two sets of X12 delays. We've also got A10Is as the main tops and KS28 as the subs. There's been all sorts of live music here, everything from punk bands to funk.
We do have a function hall which has the facility to bring in external music, but then with the music that we have in there, the selection gave us the greatest functionality.
For the installed PA, we used the l-acoustics Siva. The Siva subs are concealed below. That gives a really good general sound system for in here.
It's a luxury lifestyle hotel, so all parts of the hotel had to be high quality. We went to specification for almost all the elements within the hotel.
We've actually put in all of the public spaces, various inputs and outputs, so that we can route the audio from here through QSIS when there is a performance happening.
Through public areas, we've got some ceiling speakers. We've got them in the corridors, the public areas going through our Oculus. We've got them in the bars, but we've also got them in the restaurants. You just enjoy the music while you're walking through these spaces. I think we're all satisfied with the end result. We've managed that particularly successfully. We're all delighted, and hopefully Adlib's delighted with the end result here as well.